behind, I'll be home until you hurry. All the way to bottom, but I've never seen it all. It can all toss your way, don't get attached to the current spits, no flurries. The rhythm won't worry. If you fall behind, I'll be home until you hurry. With the horn, be on the dog. Can't take a loss with your mouth in the wind tall. With the horn, be on the dog. Can't take a loss with your mouth in the wind tall. All the way to bottom, but I've never seen it all. It can all toss your way, don't get attached. With the horn, be on the dog. Can't take a loss with your mouth in the wind tall.
Motherfucker really up, down, chillin' with the homies, I don't really go fuck. Got a bad bitch, shaking in my dick, what the fuck going on? Bitch, you better rig her up, why you looking like a snap? Bitch, I put you in a car fight. Like, bitch, you better get the fuck up. Bought another round, cause we getting fucked up. I'ma put you in the dirt, bitch, I ain't gonna front you a bad motherfucker. Motherfucker really up, yo, motherfucker really up. I'ma put you in the dirt, motherfucker really up, yo, motherfucker really up. I'ma hit the fucking jerk, motherfucker really up, yo, motherfucker really up. I'ma put you in the dirt, motherfucker really up, yo, motherfucker really up. I'ma hit the fucking jerk, motherfucker really up. The fuck with the fun, I don't go fuck with bitch, I just wanna hit the bite, just wanna be the best, I just wanna get up. I ain't never trusted anybody else in my love. Yo, I don't go fuck with bitch, I just wanna go, bitch, you know I'm on the road, bitch, I'm making so much cash, I can't see the fuck, yeah, 0 to 100.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Off the Line Racing. And it is time to get back at it for round 3 as we get ourselves lined up for China. Now, my name is Corey, one of the 2 commentators for this evening. Joined with me is Sam. I don't think I've got Sam's audio though, because looking at my Streamlabs, it's currently not displaying Sam's audio. So can we get Sam's audio, please? I think we got it. Sam, how are we, my friend?
Very good, thank you. How are you yourself?
I'm very good. Excited for round 3 as we get ourselves over to the mighty Shanghai in China, should I say. 5.451 kilometers long with 2 DRS zones, 2 detection points, 16 turns to navigate with some elevation changes. Turn 1 up and then swinging back down the corkscrew. So that's going to be a spicy little place for overtaking, to say the least. You know, coming down the pit straight, aided with that little brief momentum of DRS, you can certainly swing it around the outside going into turn 1. So that's something that I am excited and most certainly looking forward to see if these tier 1 boys have got the minerals to send it, to say the least. How about you, Sam?
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch. I mean, I can't wait to see, and I know we're gonna have it. I mean, we've already had plenty of controversy in this tier, but I'm expecting to see some overtakes through turn 1s, 2, and 3. And I'm excited. I'm here for it. I love it. I love the racing we've had so far. It's been very entertaining to watch. But you know, obviously, unfortunately for yourself, anyway, you've had to deal with the back end of that racing.
I have. So there's been some dramatic incidents, to say the least, and as head steward, I have seen some rather questionable clips. But we move on, you know, the season's still young, you know, moving on into round 3 now. The drivers are getting into qualifying, so we're not going to keep you here much longer. We'll go over the standings as such, and we get into the lobby restart, as always. But we're a bit delayed, because we're struggling to get all the drivers into the grid. But now we have 14 in out of what could have been 18. 4 drivers still yet to show up. But these 14 have certainly got the pace to bring us a good show.
Yeah, they do indeed. I mean, I'm expecting some decent lap times, some very close knit together lap times as well from these drivers today. You know, the likes of Banana, who is yet to win a race in the first 2 rounds, but he is second in the standings, you know, just on pure consistency. Tig, who will be joining us later, obviously very dominant displays from him so far in both of the Grand Prix we've seen. And last week's official winner, Malcolm Jonas, who was, I might say, a shock winner. You know, came out of nowhere almost.
Yeah, absolutely. A bit of a surprise one, a bit of a shock to say the least, but does get some much needed points in the early end of the season. 2 different winners so far. Will we see 3 different winners for tier 1 as we get going into season 3? We're currently on board with Stocky, but he's been passed by, I think that may be the Aston in P4. It is the Devil himself, coming down sector 3 DRS straight into that horrible hairpin of 14, which you may have to keep your eye on for some drama, controversial moments, you know, dives, bit late lunges, late on the brakes, going for that Daniel Ricciardo-esque manoeuvres. But on board with Red Devil we go. The first driver to set the time lap instantly invalidates. I wonder if that's tactical, not to show his pace early on. So we will not stay on board with him. We will go back to Stocky, the Haas driver, who will be setting a time on the board.
Yeah, he will indeed, as he powers through Sector 1 now, getting a nice exit out of that horrible corkscrew section as he heads on down now into Sector 2. Quite a short sector two there as he goes purple first sector, but that is to be expected as he is the first official runner on the track so far. Heading on through sector two now, he's setting himself a decent lap by the looks of it. A little slide there, but he gets himself through nice and clean. He saves a bit of battery for himself, ready for that final straight coming on the exit.
Absolutely. Before he gets going into sector 3, firing it round to the left hander at turn 11, now into turn 12. This corner sets you up nicely for that back straight, but also can be treacherous. If you're just too quick and too heavy on the throttle, you will light up those rear tyres and get that back end kicking round. But as you come down, it's not DRS aided straight away. You've got to go down at least halfway down that straight before that rear wing is accessible to you. Now harsh on the brakes, fire round to the right hander of turn 14, the absolute tightest hairpin you will see on the F1 calendar by far before you come through the final turn of 16. And for Stocky, it's looking like a very clean lap, very much needed time to get on the board. Does go pole so far with the 31 flat, so still a very good time to get up there with. Looking to be a little bit racy, but surely there's some more time in the bag, whether it's a couple tenths or even a couple thousandths. Maybe we'll see the flat 30s inbound later on in qualifying. Still under 14 minutes to go yet. There is a 30 from Banana, the Mercedes who you have seen take wins before. AMS Smith a 30.2, even closer. Maybe we could see a 29 here, Sam.
Yeah, I definitely think we're going to with them lap times so far. I mean, everyone knows your first lap is usually your slowest, but yeah, you know, 2 tenths is not that much to ask for, especially around a track like this where there is so much time to be lost and gained, especially in the first two sectors with that corkscrew and, you know, the bendies in sector 2 especially. You know, there's a lot of time to be gained there and a lot of time to be lost, so we're definitely going to see some 29s here today, I think.
Certainly indeed. We just see Puncito, or whatever, however you say that name. I'm struggling with names. Have to bear with me, but I'll try and get them to the best of my ability. Jumps up into P5 with a 31.9, so 9 tenths off anyone close to him, waiting for other people to set their times and see if there's anybody who he can race with. Very, very far off the pace, off the margin, but like we say, that corkscrew in sector 1 could push you down, lose a lot of time, even in the bendies of sector 2. That left and right fast handers, if you're offline, that understeer could push you out wide. Halo jumps up into P2 with a 30.3, looking very racy, very pacey indeed. We'll jump on board with Jeremy, who's coming around turn 14 now. Will look to set a time on the board. Finishing turn 15 there, coming around the final turn 16. You've got to be careful, there's a lot of runoff to use, but he keeps it within the white lines, flat to the floor. Rear wing is open, a 30.9 for Jeremy. And over the line goes Bobby to start his flying lap. We have a Kick Sauber going into the pits as well. Everybody diving into the pits bar Bobby. Bobby is on a flying lap.
Yeah, Bobby now on a flying lap coming through the corkscrew. He's going to be wanting a good exit here. And, you know, you mentioned there turn 16, and it is such an unforgiving exit, especially. I mean, you know, you could be on the lap of your life and invalidate, and even if you're still feeling good to go for that second lap, it is a this and next lap invalidation there if you do run it too wide. So you've got to be very careful, especially on your final flyers, you know, of the session, because that can very well ruin your qualifying if you don't get that right.
Absolutely.
It's one of them.
I couldn't agree with you more. You know, I've been there myself when I used to drive on the game. I'd come flying through third sector, really pushing the car through the turns, desperately trying to generate that last little bit of crucial tyre temperature. And then, of course, you want the best exit out of 16 to set you up down the straight with the DRS, to maximise straight line speed to start your flying lap. And you just come around a bit too hot, or maybe you just underestimate the turn in and you just cut the curb, bounce over that apex, and you're sent flying off on the outside. And there you go. You cannot go again because it will invalidate the next lap also. So it's a this lap and next lap invalidation with it being so close to that line, and it just really ruins your qualifying. Well, Bobby jumping up into P3 with a 30.4 there. Good, stellar lap. Still 10 minutes to go in qualifying. There's still improvements to be made yet.
Yeah, definitely did. I mean, if he gets himself back quick enough, he's got enough time for 2 laps. As Red Devil now onto the final straight of the Grand Prix, heading on down to that nasty, nasty hairpin, breaking at 100 meters. Goes a bit deep there, didn't quite hit the optimal apex. I think he's going to stick this lap out though, as he did invalidate on his first run. He is going to. Keeps it in the white lines, powering on down to the finish, and he
Oh,
goes fastest. Wow, that is a very, very good lap from Red Devil there. Plenty of time in it, especially with them couple of mistakes in the final sector. He's going to be very happy with that.
yeah, stellar lap indeed for Red Devil to get himself into that provisional pole position for now. Still under 10 minutes to go, still some time for all the drivers to put that challenge to the Devil's corner, but he's certainly looking like the driver to watch so far. He's had that first invalidation, maybe he did that tactically, I'm not entirely sure, but he ran it wide down the pit straight and did invalidate his first run. We saw that, but coming out on his second lap, sets that banker time, that time to beat so far on his second run. So beautiful lap from the Aston Martin driver. Anybody else to set a lap time with a Ferrari coming down towards the line to start a lap? Julian Prince, and then the Red Bull firing it into the pits. Other than that, it's the Aston Martin's teammate, Sarpili, who comes around turn 14 now, that little kink of 15 to finish it off before it fires around that final turn of 16. Almost running a little bit wide there, did very well to keep it controlled and within limits. It's a 31.4 for them.
Yeah, very good lap indeed from the Aston Martin there. You know, getting himself in the midfield nicely. Can't complain. At the end of the day, it is a banker, so you're not expecting to put your all out on the track. So that'll have definitely given him a nice idea of where he sits currently. I think he'll be happy with what he's done there.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on that one. Currently on board with Stocky, who looks for some form of improvement on his time. Nice driver fires it around the final corner towards the line. Is the improvement coming for Stocky? It is indeed. It is just under a 4/10 improvement, just over 3.5 tenths there to put a 30.6 on the board to separate himself and get in the middle of that front 10. So that's where he wants to be, but wants to stay clear of any lap 1 shenanigans as everybody comes barreling down into turn 1, up the hill, back down the corkscrew. It's going to be a bit of a treacherous place as well for the likes of Banana, Jeremy and Mano. They want to get higher in the order, or if not, start further down the field.
Yeah, you know, you want to get, ideally anyway, in my opinion, you want to get yourself up there nice and high. You know, you want to get your car up in the top running early on. Like with Red Devil, you know, the lap he set, he could very well be sitting in the top 6, top 7 easily if he doesn't go out again. But I think we all know he will. You know, we all know the Red Devil here. He's not one to back out of a challenge, especially, you know, this early in the season.
Oh, absolutely not. As we get going into round 3, still got a full 9 rounds to go after this one, so stay tuned. There's a lot of fighting, a lot of action yet to come your way. Oh, that's almost running wide, just keeping it on the lines there to go almost a second quicker on the time. It's a 30.9 for Puntinto. Good place to be to get a little bit higher, but anybody else can bring the fight to the front. Leon struggling with his time, as well as Mauyume Jonas, your previous race victor, and Ice Cream yet to get the time on the board. Struggling here in China, to say the least, probably just catching those early invalidations, not being able to maximise the track to their advantage without picking up the outside of the white lines.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, this high up, AMS Smith getting into 29. Sorry, I've only just realised that. I was getting people invited into the lobby, but
oh, indeed.
Yeah, you've got to be on the limit. You know, you've got to be pushing at all times, and at the end of the day, when you are pushing that hard, it's very, very easy to just make that invalidation.
Mario Jonas now down towards turn 14 to get halfway through sector 3, more than halfway now as he finishes turn 15. That slight little kink, you can't even call it a corner, but it classifies on the track. And then around 16 we go, not running as wide as we saw the Haas earlier on. Where can Mario Jonas go? It's a 30.8 up into P7, so does get a time on the board just where you need to be. At least it's not the back runnings, at least it can see everything going on in front of him, what can happen, and maybe capitalise on the race start. Anybody else looking to improve on the time? Stocky is on an outlap. The Red Bull towards the line. Is that Bobby? We will take a little quick look on board. It's not, but he is in sector 3 now to come around turn 12 and around 13. A set of corners that can really catch you out, and if you're just too quick on the throttle, you can kick that back end out, saying you're sliding. We know Bobby to be a contender for race victories. He's really showed it in round 1 and round 2. Round 2 picking up some unfortunate penalties, dropping down the order and losing the race victory. But coming into China round 3, can Bobby make any form of improvement on that and maybe push back after that late coming penalty after the race as we go flat down towards the line? It's an improvement, but it's not Paul. It's a 30.3 for the Red Bull driver. Not quite up there yet.
No, he's not quite there. He's got plenty of time to gain in that lap if he wants to get a sniff of that top spot on the grid. But Banana as well did just improve, 3/10 improvement, and he himself even made a mistake on the exit of 16. You know, he lost a lot of time doing that. I don't know how he quite managed to keep it on the track, if I'm being honest with you, but yeah, there's plenty of time to be gained with these drivers here today, as I don't know if anyone's on a lap. Is that Ferrari there of Jeremy?
I'm on board with Leon.
He doesn't look to be improved. Or is it Leon? Sorry. Who is on a flyer now, gets the brake in nice and tidily, hooks it inside for that nasty hairpin. He powers on down to turn 16. Can he keep it in the lines? He's failed to do so far in the session. He does manage to do that. He's looking at getting a mid-table finish there, 30.5, almost a 30.6 there, P6. You know, at least he's got a time on the board now, but the real question is, does he have enough time left to get back to the pits and send it out for his final lap?
Oh,
I don't know, you know. I think it's going to be tight for him.
That's a big ask, a very big ask.
I think if you want to be getting out for that final lap, you either want to be in the pits or coming into the pits pretty damn soon, you know. 3 minutes left on the session, you know. It's a 1:30 lap time around here, you know. It's going to be tough, but if he really tries, I reckon he can get in and just about scrape that last lap together.
I am looking on board with Stocky, who I don't know if this is a push lap or not. Is coming down sector 3. Will they open that rear wing? The wing is open. The battery was being deployed. So this is a push lap. Was down in sector 2. Coming into sector 3. Maybe can find some form of improvement in sector 3. I doubt you can get in and out the pits in that time. That's going to be a big ask. You normally want to be coming out of the pits within the next 40 seconds. Will dive into the pits. Oh, this is a big ask for Stocky.
Yeah, it is indeed. I'd say you've got about 30 seconds to get into them pits and get back out for his outlap, as we already see drivers coming out to set their final laps. He's left it very tight there. So has Leon. Leon coming into the pits now. It's going to be tight for those guys right there. They're going to struggle to get that final lap in, but I have no doubt that they're going to send it out anyway, you know, to get themselves on track. As we see, is that Ice Cream retiring there? Or not sure what's happened there, but anyway, we're moving on to the final minute of this qualifying session. The final laps are getting out there right now. You know, the drivers are all pretty much on an outlap. The pack is so very bunched together. They're gonna want to space out, you know. What do you think? Who's getting pole here today?
I'm currently on board with Julian Prince, as he is to set a timed lap now, coming through sector 2, turn 7. I don't know if Julian's going to be up there within the striking distance. I did see AMS Smith out on an outlap, who was on board for a couple of seconds in sector 1, so he is going to look to try and improve that 29.9 time, whether it be by a couple thousandths or not. Red Devil also out looking to try and challenge for it. It's certainly going to be a scrap between those two. We know the Devil capable contender to fight back and take some victories and really throw a spanner in the works of of the drivers that we've seen so far who could be the ones to take the championship. The Red Devil may be the one to stop them. AMS Smith may be the fastest here in China, but we know that Red Devil has the consistency and the race pace to put the pressure on them. So again, this is going up in the Banana. I'm surprised to see not as close as we expect. That's a big screen freeze for Julian Prince. Oh, he's gone off the track. He's invalidated it. Oh no! What? Oh, why? Oh, Okay.
Yeah, very clearly not happy there, is he? He's yeah, he's a bit disappointed with that lap. But anyway, we move on, as I think it's going to be Pochito to be the first to cross the line in this session to set his time lap. He will. Oh no! Dives into the pits. Does not complete his lap. Straight into the pits. Wow, that's a shock there from the Haas driver.
It is a shock. I'm still seeing some drivers on outlaps. Do they have the time to cross the line? No, they don't. There's the checkered flag. So AMS Smith coming down now. Glitched Hen is not going to get a time on the board. He did try for it, but couldn't get there. As well, is that Aston Martin in front? Is that Sarpilo? It is indeed. So he will come down towards the line. But AMS Smith will also be the next there. So will that be an improvement on your pole sitter? Or can anybody try and bring the challenge to them and bring the fight in there? AMS Sarpili does improve on the time. AMS Smith invalidates in the final turn. Halo comes down towards the line now. Can Halo bring the fight to the front? Oh, he's just short of it. It's all for the Red Devil to try and do it. The Devil is currently up on his time, but it's not enough. It will be enough for second position, but it might not be enough for pole position. He really needs to gain the every thousandth and hundredth here now into turn 14. Flat to the floor on 15. Try and gain all that momentum before you need to do a Hail Mary send around 16. Keeps it within the lines. Flat to the floor, down towards the line. Pole position for Red Devil. He does jump ahead. He does take it by the finest of margins. Oh my word. Stand up and take a bow. 19 thousandths of a second.
Yeah, that is something to admire. He snatched that pole position there from Smith. Halo also just inside of a tenth behind, and from there the gap just gets bigger. I mean, 3/10 from Bobby to Halo. Obviously, Bobby not setting that final lap. Banana also not managing to set that final lap there. Jeremy gets himself into P6 just behind the Mercedes of Banana, 5/10 off pole position. And Mano, with a very competitive time there, just slots himself in behind the Ferrari, the sister team almost to the Kick Sauber. Just behind Mano there is your current reigning champion of Tier 1, Leon, who is 6/10 off the pace there. He's really struggled in this session compared to how he's fared, especially last season. Stocky slotting in behind Leon, Mayum Jonas, and Sappy just getting them final positions, and it has gone off my screen, so I can no longer read out the starting order for you.
Nevertheless, I shall bring you back to see my lovely mug as we go through our standard lobby restart.
Those poor viewers.
Oh, you get to see my smiling mush. What do you mean, those poor viewers? How dare they? How dare they? I'm just a chill guy who likes to scream at my screen for about an hour and a half every night. Don't worry about me. That's just my routine of how I do things. But no, we can take... Oh, can we take a look at the standings?
It would be ideal.
We can. I do have the image, but it's not displaying. I'm trying to fix this. Bear with me. So in the meantime, you can take a look at the calendar.
Yeah, what a lovely calendar we've got, I must say, Corey. Some might disagree. Obviously, as a spectator, I think it's brilliant. Obviously, you've seen round 1, you've seen round 2, Australia and Italy. Both extremely quick tracks to kick us off. You're hitting the limit, pretty much for a whole lap at Italy, and then Australia is not that much further behind. And today we bring you the Chinese Grand Prix, Shanghai. One of the probably more hated GPs in this game. Not a lot of people tend to favour it, and I think that is going to show here today. with, it's all going to be, about the underdog who has practiced, I think, today. Coming into this, as I know a lot of the top drivers have voiced their dislike for the track. But moving further on to round 4, and a round that I am definitely looking forward to, and I know my main commentator, co-coms here, Corey, is definitely looking forward to. He doesn't shut up about it. It'll be Saudi Arabia for round 4. How excited are you for that next week?
Absolutely ecstatic. Sector 1. Just can you keep it flat to the floor through those S's? Do you have the bollocks to do so? I want to see it. Who's going to get the speed coming out of Sector 1 around that long left-hander turn 13 for any outside line overtakes? There's so many treacherous corners. Turn 22, the fast left-hander. You've got the inside wall you can clip, or you can take too much speed, run it a bit too wide, use that slight runoff, hit the outside wall. Oh, it's the fast-flowing Monaco of the Saudi Arabia. That's all I can say about that one. The wall's ever so close, the risk so high, but it is a very fast-flowing track. I love it. I've got to say it's easy, one of my favourite tracks, just for the way it flows. Like, even in the terms of driving it on time trial, and you're just flat to the floor and you nail the corners, you nail the apexes, you feel unstoppable.
Yeah, I can definitely say I've had a few moments, around Saudi Arabia. I thought, yeah, I'm the man. But anyway, it's a beautiful track. It's a beautiful race. And I have no doubt that a lot of the drivers here are going to be taking Sector 1 flat to the floor, It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. And no doubt the stewards will be busy. Fingers crossed that they're not, though. Anyway, moving on to round 5. One of my favourite tracks is Hungary. I like to see it as the smaller and more tame version of the Silverstone GP. It's got some very similar elements, some very different elements as well, but Hungary is like my home GP away from home. I love the track, very high downforce, not a lot of overtaking opportunity, but I think it's beautiful to drive when you get it right. Then onto round 6, we've got the fabled Suzuka. So many legendary moments that happened around there. To name one is going to just be, Alonso around 130R, around the outside of Schumacher. Will we see any overtakes through 130R? I think we will. I really do. It's gonna be very tight racing around there. Sector 1, very easy. You clip one of them inside curbs, your car is spinning around. Tough track indeed. Moving on to round 7, we have one of the most famous tracks in the world. It is Spa in Belgium. I think it's a beautiful track. Ask me to drive it more than 5 laps, and I'm going to tell you, you can absolutely do one, mate, because it is such a demanding track. It kills me off. But I do love watching the racing there. Moving on to round 8, we've got Azerbaijan and Baku. Round 9, Austria. Very, very simple track, but very, very easy to make a mistake there and just lose it all. Very tight racing expected in Austria, especially. Moving on to round 10, Miami. One of the newer tracks we've got here, in the sport. It's controversial. Some people love it, some people hate it, and I don't think there's a middle ground on it. I love watching the racing there. I think it's a fantastic track. It's just a shame it's in America, let's face it. Moving on to round 11, another one of my favourite tracks, and I've no doubt everyone sitting at home loves this track. Everyone watching, everyone driving, and even Corey next to me in the commentary booth, I know he loves it. It will be Interlagos, one of the most famous tracks, one of the most legendary tracks on the calendar. And moving into the final round, we will be heading to sunny Barcelona for the Spanish Grand Prix.
Oh, interesting, to see Spain back on the calendar. It's been a topic of debate to see Spain as a circuit in the F124 game with its, invisible bump in Sector 3 that sends you to the sky. But we see it for the final round as we see F124 to a close and anticipate F125. But now we can take a look at the standings as Tig leads us away in his VCAB. 34.7 point gap between his current rival Banana, who sits there with 27 points, and Mario may join us. Last time, Victor taking a good 25 points to get himself in P3, then 11 place jump in the standings off one good finish. It is early days, so the standings are going to be up and down like a yo-yo. Marius Anderson lines up fourth in the standings behind, with Jack just behind him. Shanes, who did perform a very good opening Grand Prix, does not see himself on the grid here tonight, but does line up 6th in the standings, and Ice Cream in the Kicksauber behind. The Kicksauber's doing very, very well here in the opening rounds, so maybe contenders for Constructors' Championship with these consistent points finishes. AMS Bobby lines up in 8th. He was the unofficial race victor last time out, but under penalties falls down the order and only lines up 8th in the standings. PW Jones behind, and Stocky F1 doing the top 10. And then just falling out of that, you have Gillian Prince, AMS Smith, Halo, Glitch 10, Gacha, Leon, your two-time champion from Season 1 and Season 2, only sees himself in 16th in Season 3 after making the transition to the wheel, yet to score points in the season. AB Edward, IRT Nick, and then reserve drivers McTimmy and Eversio Vettel lining up behind. Forgot to mention PW Jones is in the standings but has been moved to Tier 2 for the a bit more of a challenge to his more level, should I say. T2 more suited for PW Jones over the Tier 1 grid, so he is only sat there in reserve at the minute, but still did score points, did well while he was in Tier 1. But now sees himself in Tier 2, racing with our second EU tier. Just to mention, if you want to get involved, you can still sign up. The sign-ups are still open as well for our friends across the pond in America. There is an American tier just for you, and maybe even an AM Tier 2, depending on when the sign-ups continue. But let's see how you get going and get yourself signed up, get a reserve so you get yourself racing, because the action is still coming. So only round 3, you've still got 9 rounds to catch up on after we did just get going with the calendar. On to the constructors, mentioned it earlier, Kicksauber's leading the way, Marius Anderson and Ice Cream proving to be a dominant team, strong points finishers. But that's not to say that Tig in that VCAB cannot pull back the points when needed, as his team is just 1 point behind them. And the Haas just lining up with an 11-point gap behind the VCABs, and then Mercedes level on points. That big Banana doing it for the Mercedes team. However, he is only a solo driver once again tonight. Will not have a teammate lining up with him unless we've had a driver join us on the grid who can fill in that second spot, and we do not see another Mercedes on there. But we do see the Alpines in 5th in the Constructors, only 2 points behind the Mercedes, and then Aston Martin in 6th with the Red Bulls, William, Ferrari and McLaren lining out the Constructors title. So how about that, Sam? Kicksauber looking good for Constructors. That team is very strong. Ice Cream and you've got Fake Mano, lining up in that team. So good points finishers. Could we see them up there for podiums, maybe even Constructors Championship?
You know, I think especially with the full-time driver pairing Ice Cream and Marius Anderson, they showed themselves all last season to be competitive throughout. I wouldn't be surprised if they do put in a title charge here, you know, this season. They've been amazing so far. I mean, they've never quite had, you know, the podium finishes they've wanted, but they've kept it clean, they've kept it consistent, and they've both scored good points at the first 2 rounds. You know, Ice Cream, you know, not setting a lap, going to be starting at the back today. It's going to be an uphill climb for them, but I think you know, if anyone can do it, it is Kicksauber.
Oh, lovely stuff. But as we know, keep you waiting for that little bit longer. We can tell you the drivers have readied up. The grid has been set. We now have 16 participating in the Grand Prix. You only saw 15 in the qualifying. A couple of drivers not being able to get their laps in. We do have 16 lining up to take the grid for 28 laps of Shanghai, China chaos. Or could be masterclass, depending on how you can play out with those tyre strategies. But if you didn't know, Sam, it is your turn to take the lights.
Oh, yeah! Oh! Come on, that is...
Oh, my word.
Oh, I love a bit of rain. That is... throw a spanner in the works for a lot of these drivers. That is, oh, what a beautiful sight to see.
I'm going to take us
today,
trackside so the spectators can see what our reactions were about.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Oh, it's torrential. It's torrential, Sam. Absolute downpour.
Wet.
Downpour. Full wet conditions. No intermediate running. Is it wet for the entire Grand Prix?
You know what? Let's hope so, because I've been dying for a wet race. You know, we've had so many dry races on the bounce here, so many lucky drivers. You know, looking out every week with the lobby resets. Not today. Not today. We've got it wet. It is trenches out there. I can see puddles forming in the pit lane. Oh, this is really gonna spice things up here today.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I've just seen on the stream replay my reaction because we were still on camera screen when the screen come up and it was torrential downpour. Let's just point that out. It's absolutely lashing down. The heavens have opened and water is flooding the track. This is not even light rainpour. This is not even gentle. This is torrential downpour. And my reaction was just pure shock. And it wouldn't surprise me to see a clip on TikTok of that.
Yeah. Oh, I will definitely be asking Ricky to make sure that happens. But yeah, this is, no DRS. The only age you will have is your slipstream and your battery reserves. It just makes the racing so much more entertaining. I know I hate racing in the wet. I've always been able to do it. I've always been good at it, but I just hate the amount of concentration that it takes. But I'll never pass up watching a wet race.
How many drivers have gone squabbling for a wet setup right now? That's the problem. That's what we're waiting for.
Yeah.
Everybody's gone sprinting, guns blazing to find a wet setup. They are attacking the team discords looking for wet setups.
Nice. Well, listen, failed to prepare, prepared to be failed, as a good friend of mine usually says, and I'm sure a lot of people are really wishing that they prepared today for a wet race.
Absolutely.
There are definitely a few drivers loading their setups and going, oh well, looks like I'm cranking the wings up today. It's already a very demanding track, and it just got a little bit more demanding right here. I mean, we're still waiting. We're still just looking at the spectators up on top of the pit wall, getting absolutely soaked. Not a single brolly in sight except for one. But, they're loving it. We're loving it. And we're still waiting. This has got to be like one of the most awkward times as a commentator, is just waiting for the race to start.
I've got to say, I don't mind moments like this when you can look and appreciate the dedication to the NPCs. The weather is pouring down. It could be scorching heat in Bahrain, and they'll still show up. They'll show up in shorts and a t-shirt to wet weather, and they'll show up in jackets and jeans in Bahrain. You gotta give the commitment to the NPCs.
Listen, there's clearly a lot of postmen who are fans of F1 in China, because they do not care what the weather is. They're gonna wear one. I'm sure I can see a couple of flip-flops up there, as we're still waiting for the drivers to take it away. Running out of things to talk about.
Soggy toes. No. Oh, the flip-flops in the rain has just sent my brain to a different level. Sam,
and we are getting ready to go. We have 3, 4, 5 red lights, and we are away for the Shanghai Grand Prix, as it looks like Red Devil there getting a bit of a better start. Then Tig, Halo getting himself up into P2, getting the better start. Not Tig, sorry, it is AMS Smith, as Smith is going to retake that position straight away with that inside line, that favourable line. But Halo is now going to switch to the inside. Can he get the move done? He's going to want to get the move done. I think he can. He gets the better traction. Is Bobby going to follow him through? He's definitely going to go for it. Bobby follows through. AMS Smith down 2 positions off the start. Jeremy up a position. Banana falling down into P6. Holding position as Leon goes for the dive on Banana. They're side by side now. Who gets the better exit? I think they had a pretty equal one. Leon's going to have to burn a bit of battery to get ahead there. Banana slots in behind from Stocky, Sappy, Glitch 10, Mayu Jonas, Puchito, Fake Mano and Ice Cream with Julian Prince and Tig sitting behind. Tig, you know,
Whoa!
1 second behind already as there's a bit of controversy at the front there. What happened? I didn't quite see it.
I was looking at the back, I wasn't screaming at the front. We had a 3 wide moment coming down into Sector 2, turn 9 and 10. That was dramatic. AMS Smith has had a bit of a spin and fell down the order, but we'll take a look at the tyres because I have noticed some green walls out there. We have wet inters. Maybe that's why Bobby's having such a good start. Maybe the intermediates are just working a little bit better than the wets, but they're not going to last as long. They're going to absolutely shred them, just trying to keep them at temperature to stay with those wet medium, when those wet tyres. It's going to be dramatic, but we do see the intermediate compound is working here. Look at Bobby to the outside though. He has just got the grip difference, a traction difference, and around the outside. Was it outside the lines? Will he be entitled to keep that place? Yes, he will. He'll take the fastest lap also. Intermediate tyres are working a lot better than the full wets here. This is crazy stuff.
Yeah, crazy stuff indeed. As the people that go for the gamble as Bobby and Devil side by side. Now Devil's going to be back from Halo. Halo get that inside line. Compromising himself, Devil there. Trying to get past Bobby as Halo doesn't quite get the move done, but he's very, very close. He's going to stick to the outside line. He's still going for the move as they're side by side yet again. These two have just been going at it. Red Devil will get the better exit there, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be under attack for this entire lap from Halo, who is looking very racy there. Bobby already breaching himself a nice gap out front. It seems these intermediate runners have played it well. They've gone for the gamble and it is paying off right now. But you have to ask yourself, is the track getting drier or is it getting wetter? You know, it's still pouring down with rain. I don't know if these intermediates are going to last as long as these inter runners are hoping for. You know, it is still raining. There is the chance that the track's going to get wet, more wet, you know, than it is going to be dry. I mean, what a first few laps we've had here is the pack is starting to split up a bit. Tig falling all the way down there with a bit of a gap. That is not ideal.
Jeremy's going for it, down into 14. Intermediates versus full wets. Jeremy versus Halo, side by side on the exit, but I don't think Jeremy's been able to get the power down quick enough. Halo's going to keep that position, but it was a good attempt from that Ferrari. Oh, he's had a bit of a kick on the back end and just about catches the car. That just shows you how treacherous the conditions are here. That rain is not easing off, not just yet. It's still torrential downpour.
Yeah, it is indeed. There's a lot of drivers out there struggling. I think the inters are just about quicker though, as we see Bobby breaching a gap at the front there. 1.2 seconds now out in front. He's got himself a very handy lead he has here today, Bobby. All he's got to do now is keep it clean and he's going to be in the running for a dominant win. You know, he's just going to have to pray and pray that this track starts.
Oh, we're having a right scrap here in the back of the field. Oh, it was Julian Prince versus Puncinto. We're having a right scrap. They were side by side all the way down, and then he's potentially opened the door for Malume Jonas to get on through, but doesn't. Malume Jonas loses that potential open door. The Haas goes back through, and the order's reset. But it was Puncinto against Julian Prince. You could see how hard they were fighting the cars. The way the cars were wobbling on exit, struggling to get the traction down, trying to get as much power down as they could, fighting the grip levels. Oh, it was beautiful that we get it all on stream.
That is lovely to hear. As Bobby again, 1.6 seconds is AMS Bobby from the pack. I think he is just going to check out here and try and build a gap as big as possible, so that he can win this race. I mean, he's not giving up. He's not relenting. He's that 3 wide towards the rate of this train there almost. Leon and Stocky having it out. Stocky's going to try and get the move done, but Leon's going to get the switchback done. Can he get the traction down? He's going to go for it. He's going to hold the outside line. I think he's going to give the position up. No, he's not. He's going to stick there. As all Stocky pushes off the track. Will that position stick? I don't know. Leon and Stocky now in a drag race down towards turn 1. That could have been disastrous there. That was That was very much almost a race-ending incident for either driver there.
Oh,
They were
Leon's
very
gonna
close to
go for
locking
it!
the wheels as Leon is again. He doesn't quite get the move. Is he going to get the switch? No, he's not. But glitch 10 now on the inside of Leon. Can he get the traction down? He can't quite get it down. Is he going to go for it round the outside here? He's not going to get the space.
Leon with a dive.
But Leon is going to go for the dive now on Stocky. Can he get past? He's struggling here to get past that driver. As I think, no.
Leon, we're in the outside, coming down into sector 2, coming around turn 7, back around turn 8. He's still making it side by side. Is there anything he can do? Yes, he can. He does get through. Glitch 10 looking to capitalise on that open door, but had to fall back in the order as they get around turn 10.
Big shot from Leon there. Leon loses a lot of time. That's not going to be good. Glitch 10 now going to get a very good run. He backs out of it, stays behind Leon. He's going to go for it on this long straight we get down onto the final sector. Will he get the position on Leon?
Oh, they're really
Calm
scrapping
down,
out.
gentlemen. It's lap 4. You know?
God, these wet conditions, they are still not holding back. The elbows are well and truly out. It is literally banging it on each other's door, trying to make it open. Glitch 10's going to look for it around the outside. Leon's going to force into defence. Is the Haas looking for a capitalistic move? He's nowhere to be seen as of yet. Look at that. That's 4 cars fighting away down into turn 14. It's not something you even see in dry conditions, never mind the wet, as Leon leads the order of that fight, and side by side go the Kick Sauber and the Haas. And through goes Fake Mano. Stocky was off the track but does rejoin the order. Leon trying to bridge a bit of a gap, a bit of breathing room against those big sends into turn 1.
Fake Mano's going to go for it. Glitch 10, sorry to interrupt you there. He takes that tighter line. He's going to go switchback now, is he? Doesn't quite get it, but Stocky's going to get through on Fake Mano, and Glitch 10 is going to get through on Leon. Has a fight there, they're now neck and neck, heading through Sector 1, onto Sector 2 now. Leon on the inside, Glitch 10 on the outside. Who can get the traction down on the exit? It's looking like Leon. Yeah, Leon gets it done nicely there, keeps himself ahead. Mano looking very racy behind there, wanting to get involved in this action in front. And look at the gap that has formed from P6 to P7 with this fighting we've had here. They are going at it in these early laps.
Scrapping. And that's what we want
Leon
to see.
almost around.
Oh my God, Leon is struggling so bad coming out of turn 10. He just can't get his foot on the throttle.
No, he's really struggling with that throttle control through Sector 2. He's struggling on entry,
Glitch
struggling
may
on
have a
exit,
run.
but Glitch...
No, not quite.
Like, it's only the 5th lap, guys. Calm down. What is going on here is Leon's going to force Glitch 10 to take the outside line. I think Glitch is going to be nice and cleanly ahead, but Stocky on the inside of Leon now. Is he going to go for the dive? No, he's not, but Leon's going to go for it.
Glitch has locked it!
Glitch is around. Oh, that is disastrous for the Williams driver. He's locked his wheels and he's spun himself around.
Oh, he's still within the fight, though. He's still just behind
Yellow
them.
flags.
Yellow flags.
Banana's gone round.
Banana's
going into the pits. Does he have damage?
Oh my God.
I don't think he
Fake
does.
Mano around the outside and Leon down into turn 1. Fake Mano looking to try and get that position side by side around turn 2. Can they keep themselves away from each other? You don't want to stick like glue. The contact Mano's dangerous, but Fake Mano gets it done in turn 3. The door has been open for Stocky to get through on Leon as we get down towards turn 4 and 5, but he's not got through yet. Leon still on the back foot, still needing to defend.
Goes deep, Leon does, and Stocky's going to get that door open again for him. Leon's going to slam it in his face. What is going on with these drivers?
Oh my God.
Leon struggling again. Little bit of a bum weave from the Red Bull there. What am I watching? This Banana's retired from the session. Clearly not happy with his setup there after spinning in the final sector. He's going to be retiring. He's going to be hanging the towel up in this Grand Prix. Stocky, Julian Prince, Ice Cream, Glitch 10, Mayim Jonas, Bochito even, all in this fight for P7. They're all sitting behind, letting these drivers ahead scrap it out. The front 6 have checked out, and it is now going to be an all-out fight for that top paint position that they can gain, which is going to be P7 unless we do see a safety car.
See a change in the lead and a switchback maybe from Red Devil. That looked like it's a mighty fight for the change in order. Red Devil's barely able to keep the car going in a straight line. See, we've not been on board for a while. We've been too occupied with this fight at the backfield. A Glitch 10's fighting away with Mario Jonas. He needs to regain some time. Leon squabbling out of 16 again. He's really struggling with that back end. He's kicking left, right, fishtailing. He's slapping him around like nobody's business. And he's just losing time lap after lap.
Now, I think the track is getting drier. Bobby has just set the fastest lap. He's 5.5 seconds out in the lead currently. And he's just slammed a fastest lap in on the 6th lap. I think the intermediate runners have got this right, you know. I think they really have, you know.
Side by side, Leon and Stocky. Stocky's got the better line. He's got the better traction. The move could be done and dusted, but Leon's still going to try and fight it back. He's keeping the inside line now. He's coming down sector 2. Round 7, back around 8, it'll be Stocky with the inside line, and then it will switch once again and give Leon that inside line in turn 9, and he does keep himself ahead, barely by the skin of his teeth, by a hair's width. Leon's forced into so many defensive manoeuvres, so much defensive action. You normally see him challenging for victories, but here he's being bullied.
He is indeed, as Halo now has also breached
Oh,
the
he's
gap
almost spun
1
it!
and 2. That's not very good for the Red Bull driver. Stocky's going to get a run on him now. He's going to have that supreme exit, but Jeremy is going to get an even better run on Stocky. Puts 2 wheels on the grass to make the overtake. He's going to get the slipstream from Leon. Leon's going to move out of the way, allow Julian Prince, to get past, but he's not going to give that position up. Oh, what's happened there? There's about 6 cars in one turn, all going for overtake. What is happening? As Julian Prince and Leon now side by side almost. Julian Prince gets ahead, but he's not had the best of exits. Leon is now going to get a great run down to turn 1. But no, Ice Cream's going to come past. He's going to come flying past Leon. He's going to go for it on Julian Prince as well. As Julian goes very deep, up his tyres, does not get the outside. Julian's round. Leon has spun Julian around, manages to save it. Oh, that was almost a driver out of the running points there. Julian Prince gets a bit of a tap from Leon. Ice Cream is the one benefited the most there. Is Mano now 4 seconds ahead?
Mano has just left after all this squabbling, all this fighting, all this slip and sliding. Mano has just left them behind.
He has indeed, and Red Devil also falling down the order. He's now in P5.
Oh my god, Leon is really struggling. He's slipping and sliding. This is dramatic.
I don't even have words. There's still 20 laps to go, gentlemen. Calm yourself down as Leon nearly spins it again. Oh my god, this kid is giving me a heart attack every single corner. What is he thinking?
Oh my,
He's an absolute maniac.
Knuckle biting performance from Leon.
He is an absolute maniac. He's pushing that car to its absolute limit. He's pushing it over the limit at times, as you know.
He's just giving it. He's too aggressive.
We haven't even had a chance to look at the top 6 here. It's just been constant battles in the midfield as Bobby sets the fastest lap again. He is absolutely flying here today, but Halo has gained a little bit of time back that lap. Jeremy now sets the fastest lap on them intermediate tyres. We'll have a look at the front quickly as Jeremy and Bobby both on the intermediates. Halo is in an intermediate sandwich here. He's only losing time to Jeremy. He's really struggling, especially through his corkscrew. I think it's going to be full intermediate conditions very soon by the looks of it. You know, these intermediate drivers are just flying at the moment.
They have made the best strategy call possible. They have not gone full wets, not trusting them to have that grip advantage, and ultimately the intermediates proving to be the better tyre. I say that as Jeremy has that back end kicking out on him, but very good control to keep the car going in a straight line once again. That could have been disastrous for Jeremy, but still pressing on to try and get that P2 away from Halo, running on the wet compound tyres. Intermediate certainly proving to be the better compound right now.
Yeah, they are indeed, as Mano is just gaining time as well. Lap after lap, he can now see the rear light of AMS Smith. You know, there's a very clear advantage here with the intermediates. You know, all these wet drivers are struggling a lot, especially Red Devil and Smith have just fallen down the order, being on them wet tyres. I think Halo is the only front pack on the wets who's actually managed to stay with it. He's actually managed to stay there. As Jeremy is going to be landing up and move right, and he's going to go for it. Is he going to go for the switchback? He's going to go for the switchback. Can he get the traction down? He doesn't quite get the traction down there. He's going to be looking to get a move done onto turn 1 as Bobby sets the fastest lap again. Jeremy now, can he get the better exit? I think he does. He's going to have that slipstream aid. He's not got much to burn, but I don't think Halo does either. What can they do? Jeremy still sitting behind Halo as Mano now sets the fastest lap. The intermediate tyres are dominating this Grand Prix. Jeremy's going to take a bit of a wider line there to hook it in for the inside as we've got yellow flags in the pit lane. I think someone's had a bit of a pit lane incident. I think that might have been Leon there. Unlucky for the young Red Bull driver there, but Halo up on his time. Jeremy is just gaining more and more lap after lap.
So they have boxed Leon intermediates. Tig certainly on the intermediates. Here comes the crossover we've been so anticipating. When do the drivers make that call for changing it from wets to inters? See, now there's a dilemma. Do the drivers who have already started inters box again knowing they've got that free pit stop? Or do they run it a little bit longer so when they do box for inters they know they can make the end distance? With these wet runners boxing now, they've got to go 18 laps on inters, whereas these guys can balance that load a little bit better.
Yeah, they certainly can. I think if I was an intermediate runner, I would certainly be looking to extend to lap 15, lap 16, you know, have them nice, fresh, green wall tyres until the end. The advantage you will gain, obviously, there's no DRS here. It's all about raw pace. You know, maybe a bit of slipstream, but at the end of the day, the slipstream isn't going to gain you that much over a lap. Not as much as the fresh intermediates will, especially through Sector 1 as Bobby. Another fastest lap for the Red Bull. He's dominating as Jeremy almost goes round there. This is nail-biting stuff. I mean, I definitely think intermediate runners are going to want to extend as long as possible on this first stint. They're going to want that lasting advantage. As Jeremy's going to get a bit of a run almost down the side, doesn't quite get it. I think we're seeing drivers come into the pits now. Julian Prins and Glitch 10. Also Pochito coming into the pits. All three of them are wet runners. What tyres are we going to see? I think the Ferrari garage team are bringing out the intermediates as well as the Williams. Everyone jumping chips. No, the Williams aren't. The Williams, he's going back out on the wets. What is Glitch 10 doing? Oh, I don't think that's the best of strategy calls there, as everyone should be coming in for the intermediates right now, looking at how they're doing, as we've got yellow flags in Sector 1.
Oh,
who's that?
Halo drifting there in Sector 2. We got a nice on board of that. We could see the McLaren ahead, slipping, sliding, drifting around the corners, trying to get the traction and trying to get the power down, just trying to gain on his opponent, and just trying to gap his opponent behind him. But that Ferrari is on the ball, on the nerve, closing in, 10th by 10th, just hasn't had the open door, the opportunity to get on through. Now the Ferrari's slipping and sliding. Are the conditions getting a little bit worse on track? Is the grip slowly slipping away? Maybe Glitch 10 boxing for full wets was the way to go. The rain could be getting that little bit heavier.
And at the end of the day, only the drivers will know how the grip is out there. It doesn't matter how it looks for us. It could be a completely different story on the actual tarmac, on that wet tarmac of the track. You know, we've seen a few drivers come in now and box the intermediates, but we've also seen Glitch 10 go onto the wets. Has he made the right call, or has he had an absolute stinker there? Only these coming laps will tell. We'll have to see, and it's too close to call here.
Could see a move. Julian Prince on Glitch 10, glitched on the wet tyres. You see the intermediate difference as he does breeze on by using the battery. No DRS going down Sector 3. It's too wet for that. You want to go faster in these conditions. The FIA won't allow you. They say, how dare you? No DRS for you, as the Ferrari burns the battery to get on by. And now we'll look to gap and bridge a gap before Glitch 10 can warm up those wet tyres, get them working where he needs them to. But they're going to burn away. They're going to absolutely demolish on this track. With the way things are at the minute, the intermediates, they've got to be the tyre to be on.
Yeah, they do indeed. As the two Haas teammates now battling, Stocky on pit exit, boxing onto the intermediates as well. Both the Haas drivers now nice and close together. Leon just behind on the inter. Well, I think the only wet runners we have at the moment are Red Devil, Halo, Marion Jonas, and Glitch Hen. I think everyone else has either started on the inters or switched over to them. Bobby now almost 10 seconds out in front. Jeremy is going to be looking to finally get that move done on Halo. He's going to pull to the outside line. He's been forced to it. Halo's going to be a bit more ambitious on the brakes. They're going to stay side by side going through the hairpin. Jeremy doesn't get the traction he wants. Bit of a slide there, and Halo spots that McLaren back in front.
I'm going to say something, Sam. I've noticed
Go on.
something. The rain's getting lighter.
I think it is. You know, I think the track is on
Ooh,
intermediate
right there
conditions.
side, Jeremy runs it a little bit deep, but did try and be the ballsiest of characters in that Ferrari to try and go for an outside send. Having the grip advantage, just could not pull it off. Does he still have the grip advantage though? The wet tyres are certainly going to be in overheating territory, but Halo is managing it well. He's had a couple slip and slides, but he's still kept that Ferrari behind.
Yeah, it's such an art race in the wet. You know, you could be the slower driver, you could be on the worst compound, but because there is no DRS aid, it's such a tough challenge to get ahead. You know, especially as the following car, it's such interchangeable conditions. As Leon retires from the session, is that a pit lane retirement? I think it is. Leon clearly not happy with how his race was going. He's going to decide to retire. It's such a tight race for some of these drivers here. You know, Bobby obviously shooting off straight away. He's going to be looking to take that first proper victory of the season. As Jeremy and Halo are now losing time to Sappy. Sappy's almost within that 1 second gap where he will start getting that slipstream advantage. He's already going to be picking it up a little bit on the straight, but Sappy could be in the running here for P2 and P3 as Jeremy's going to try and get to the inside. He just can't get past that McLaren. He's really struggling. He just can't get that grip on exit. I think Halo's car positioning especially has just been brilliant so far. He's defending everything really well. But Jeremy looks to be getting a better exit. He's going to get that inside line now. Can he finally make the mistake? Halo's going to try and keep it round the outside. It's going to turn to the inside. Just keep it there and you'll get the better line. Can he get it there? Can he keep it there? Halo still poking his car there. Jeremy still trying to get ahead. Doesn't quite get the grip down. They're going to stay side by side now, coming out of the corkscrew. And now Jeremy's going to get that inside line. Page's line, but you've got to get your braking right. It's Jeremy. Slip and slide. Halo's going to get the switchback. Jeremy goes off track. He loses heaps of time, and now Sappy gets past Jeremy as well. What has happened there? Jeremy's made a mockery of that. He's absolutely butchered that overtake attempt. He's, like I said, too ambitious on the inside. They've been battling the whole time, and Jeremy unfortunately loses out there. Sappy now putting himself in that podium fight.
I've got to say, hats off to Halo. Really, really good defensive driving. Literally keeping his head on straight, using the braking to advantage. The switchback the McLaren pulled off. Beautiful stuff. You'll more than likely see yourself on the TikTok with that one. That was fantastic. Fantastic awareness. And ultimately, Jeremy cost himself another position in the end. Sappy is right there now within the fight. Can he do what the Ferrari has failed to do for so long as he looks to the outside line to make it side by side, forcing the McLaren into a defensive pause, but he's looking for a switchback and it's not there yet. The McLaren that's been so dominant in his defending all race long now dives into the pits to get off those wet compound tyres.
Yeah, Jeremy following him in as well. They're both now going to be coming out on ideally fresh intermediate tyres as we see Smith and Mano also diving into the pits looking to change off of their worn tyres. No, hats off to... Oh, what happened there? That might have been a bit of a visual issue there. I thought Halo was stuck in the pits there, but he isn't. He's managed to get himself out front. I almost had a bit of a heart attack there. I thought Halo's race had just been ruined, but it hasn't. Fortunately, you know, I think Halo has played an absolutely brilliant race here. Evidently, from the start, he's not been on the optimal strategy, you know, on them wets, but he's managed to hold out, keep that podium position. He's managed to keep the intermediates of Jeremy and Sappy behind, and now he's going to benefit. He's going to be able to unleash all of his pace now on them intermediates. His glitched 10 sets the fastest time after boxing for a second time onto the right tyre this time. He's fed up of them wets. He's not happy with it. He knows he's made the mistake of going onto the wets again, but he then gets the fastest lap as Halo now building himself a gap. I think Halo is the quickest driver currently. Without a doubt, you know, even on the wets, he was able to hold P2 from all them intermediate runners, and I think he's now benefiting ever so much from having them fresh tyres, as Red Devil has also managed to get an undercut by the looks of it. I didn't even realise that the Devil had managed to do that, but he's now back in the fight for the podium.
He is
on
indeed.
merit.
Just
Very,
seeing
very
him
well
behind
played
the
there
Ferrari
from the
there.
Devil. Yeah, very well played from the Devil there. Started on the wrong compound, he's now on the correct one, and he's going to be looking to make them positions back.
Saw the undercut working in the Devil's favour. Now needs to do well with tyre management, but maintain the push all the way through the Grand Prix. Still have 12 racing laps to go. Bobby has boxed. Sappy will lead the race for now, but Halo, look at the gap drop. It was 11. It's now 9.3 seconds. Just coming into turn 1 and 2, and around turn 3, how many more tenths will Halo improve by? You called it out, Sammy, maybe the fastest driver on the grid so far, being able to use those wet compound tyres. Although the Inters had that visible grip advantage, he was right there, well within the fight all the way through, and he's now dropping tenths to Bobby, who has looked so dominant all the way through the Grand Prix.
Yeah, he has indeed, and I think Halo's done it perfectly, sticking it out on them where got that nice little undercut on Bobby already, and he's still gaining time in Sector 2. I think he could be on for the win here if he keeps this push up. He's blindingly fast. He's already 2 seconds ahead of Jeremy. Jeremy now under threat from Red Devil behind as well. We could see a real switch up of the order here. The race has been absolutely dominated by Bobby as he's lost yet another second coming into Sector 3 onto the final straight. Oh, Jamie, screen freeze. That's unlucky for the Ferrari driver there. Very, very unlucky. There's nothing he can do about that. That is just pure unluckiness. He's going to be fuming with that.
That is pure unluckiness for Jeremy there.
Just going to interrupt you again, as the gap is 9 seconds currently between Halo and Bobby. Bobby gaining a lot of time as well, as Halo says the... If Halo keeps this up...
for the fastest lap to come in.
If Halo keeps this up, he could be on for the win here.
Well, Julian Prince of Stock here having a little bit of a squabble as they come down the pit straight into turn 1. Julian Prince, have you got the minerals? No, you do not. He forgot to activate his ball sack this morning.
Well, listen, I'm sure you've done it plenty of times. I know I haven't, personally. I never forget to activate on him, but, I'm sure you can relate there, Corey. But, yeah, you've got to have, big cojones.
I'm a patient man, alright? I can pick my moves. My balls are always active. It's just when they will be used, there's a time and a place. That's what I always say. Don't always go for a gap just because it exists, right? But if you no longer go for a gap that exists, then you're no longer a racing driver. You don't need to go for every gap just because it exists.
Alright, Ayrton Senna, calm yourself down as Halo has gained yet another 4 tenths this lap. Is it going to be enough? There's only going to be, 11 laps remaining after this. We're coming on to the final 11 laps of the race. Can Halo bring that gap in enough, as I think Sappy might not be stopping again unless he's going for a really late stop.
Oh,
but Bobby is almost caught up.
Oh, he's lost dramatic time. Oh, look at it fall away.
That's really not good for the McLaren there.
sat in McLaren, fumbling it when he could be looking good for a victory. Where have we seen this before?
Listen, that's we've seen it a lot, especially in the past few months, especially last year. But you know, you can't always be perfect, I guess. As yellow in sector 3, safety car.
Oh, fuck off,
Safety car has been deployed. What has
Somebody's
happened
dead.
there? Stocky into the pit wall, I believe. Oh no, what has happened there? I'm very sorry to the viewers, but I don't know whether that is Stocky just pointing into the wall or an actual incident has happened. But Stocky is out of the race. I'll definitely be trying to figure out what's happened there.
I don't
Jesus.
think we're going to get a view of Stocky. Where? The car is moved. That's a retire on track.
Unless he went into the pit lane and did that.
Where?
Is he coming out of the pits? I'm very sorry, I have no idea where this safety car has come from. I'm looking at the drivers in the pits now to see if there's any wing changes, but I don't think there is.
Was that right? So, if a report is made, stewards will investigate that. That could be a retire in the pits, and for some reason, because F124 is F124, somebody goes into the pits to retire, and the FIA have deployed a safety car. Because
Listen, it's a wet track, you know, it's dangerous.
But because F124, mate. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's all you can say. It has now become a viable excuse to just say the words because F124. When something stupid happens, it is now a viable excuse. It has become renowned enough as a buggy game to just say that phrase, and it's understandable.
Well, listen, you can't all be perfect, and that is especially, you know, it applies especially to this game. Sorry, I'm just reading a bit of a message I got there from a friend, not very happy about the comments we made on the McLaren. But to that I say, suck it up, it's truth. Sappy has actually got himself into a very, very, very good position here. You know, he's going to get that free pit stop. He's only going to lose out to Bobby. You know, Halo dropping behind even Jeremy. Let's have a look, actually, who has pit. Because
that was a
Jeremy hasn't. Jeremy, Pachito, Malium Jonas has pit now. He has switched them tyres off, and so has Pachito. Jeremy is the only driver on track who has decided not to pit. He's gone for track position.
I mean, 4 laps.
It's not a terrible amount.
You've scratched the surface. You know what I mean? Like you're just brazen with temperature there. What's going to affect these tyres more is going through a double heat cycle. So he's already had them heated up once, and now he slows down. Now he struggles because the car is going to need to regain those tyre temperatures. However, I think he is in AI. The man is not even in the race. Can you do us a favour and swing the man an invite?
Who will that be? Jeremy?
Jeremy, the man's not even in the race.
I don't think he's even on the game.
Oh no.
By the looks
I think the game may have crashed, and Halo is looking to do a sneaky sneak to try and force said AI off the track. If you're listening, I'm the head steward. Stop it.
There's a bit of a peculiar one, but I've just seen Bobby and Sappy switch positions. Bobby going off track. Maybe that's just Bobby with a bit of good sportsmanship, giving Sappy the position back because of, you know, a pit lane exit glitch where Sappy should have been ahead. I'm hoping that's what it is, and I think that is what has happened there. Thinking about it, because box, so I think there's been a bit of a glitch there, and Bobby, being the good sportsman he is, has let through. He's fair enough to him.
The good sportsman he is, or he's flapping from that 10-second he got slapped with last week.
Yeah. Well, that's one of them. As I'm just think we're getting an update. I think it was Stocky. So Stocky did retire on track. That is what has brought out this safety car.
Okay, so that's the only thing that would make sense. The positioning of the car, he made it seem as if it was not on the track. He did it down the pit straight. That's very smart thinking. However, upon further inspection and replay of the stream, we will see that you did not enter pit lane. So
I don't know. He's saying that he was out before he retired. I think he's saying he's crashed and then just retired straight away. I think the wing. I think he's saying a wing has been on the track, and that's what's caused the safety car. But listen, that's for the stewards to decide at the end of the day. If it does get reported, if it doesn't, well, Stocky gets off,
cough,
and there'll be no inquiry into that.
I might report it. I want to know.
Listen, that's your decision to create more work.
I wouldn't be doing my job correctly if I didn't investigate such an offence.
We may need, well, the stewards anyway, may need some clips of that incident as we're going to be getting ready to go soon, but Tig is 28 seconds behind this safety car. Has he just tried to remove a penalty or something there?
Well, I guess when the rain comes, Tig is a little bit washed.
Listen,
Pun intended.
Can't all be great at everything. As yes, I do deserve that hoodie. A lot of you won't understand what I'm talking about there, but there is one viewer who will very much understand that I do deserve it.
Hey, stop distracting my call comms, woman. Be told. Leave my call comms out of this. We're busy.
Well, we should be getting racing under this next lap as another driver's box. Glitched Hen now boxing. What is going on under this safety car? Everyone decided, you know what, no, at the back of the pack, Tiggy's going very slow. What is he doing? What is going on? Speed up, my man. We want back racing. Glitched Hen's going to come out of the pits now.
He might have dropped it.
I don't know. It's possible.
Or is that contact with Glitched Hen and Glitched has had to box for a wingaroonie?
No, they were far enough apart for there to not be any sort of contact. But I think Tig is picking the pace back up now. He's getting himself nice and close to the safety car. Hopefully we'll be getting racing this lap, ladies and gentlemen. Tig picks up a 3-second penalty.
Why is Sarpi down in P5? What have I missed?
Listen, something's going on here, and I don't quite know, and I don't quite understand what's happening. That's the mind of Safi is in P5 now. Safety car will be in this lap. There we go. Confirmation has been gained. I'll let you take it away, Corey. It's only fair.
Well, thank you very much. As we get ourselves ready and line up for the safety car restart, Bobby leading the way, dominant driver all the way through this Grand Prix. But now as the gap starts to bridge upon that red Mercedes coming down sector 3, Bobby starts to duck and weave and generate that tyre temperature, all vital temperature that he's going to need to get himself off to the best possible restart ever, as we have 6 racing laps to go. E2 may and truly be done, but unfortunately we have had wet conditions which slows the race down, and a safety car. A safety car. Sid got P7, I'm surprised you finished. Congrats.
We've had such
Bobby's
gone. Going already.
Oh, he's gone. He slowed the pack down well and truly enough, and he's got a 7/10 gap on the start. That was not expected, but there's an AI in P2, so all that's going to do is slow the pack down enough because they can't overtake it. Although the AI is running as fast as we can. Look at the gap open, it's 1.8. It's going to be 2 seconds before we hit the green line. Oh no, Halo has lost 2 seconds on restart. Bobby Masterclass. Using that AI to slow the pack down. Look at the AI slow down and fall down the order as everybody drives through that ghosted Ferrari. but it's 1.9 seconds from Halo and Bobby, and Halo may not be able to catch, but it's not raining, and the track is looking dry.
I was waiting to say, I didn't want to interrupt, but the rain has stopped. It's completely stopped. We're going to have dry running. Is anyone going to make that risk? I don't think if you boxed onto the dries now that you'd have enough laps to catch up. I don't think the advantage is going to be that lasting by the looks of it.
Nah, you can make these inters go. You're just going to burn off all that surface tread, turn them into slicks in a way, but they'll be like slicks at 80% one. They'll be slipping and sliding, but they'll just last longer than the slicks would at 80% one.
Yeah, they're not. The intermediates are not going to like these final 8 laps as we're going to be heading on to the 23rd lap. Bobby has, I think he's looked behind and realised, hold on a minute, what am I waiting for? There's an AI. Someone's disconnected and they're not joining back. I have tried to invite him and he doesn't seem to want to get himself back into this race. I don't know what's happened there. We'll have to make inquiries. Bobby's going to come in for the drives. Bobby's going to make the pit stop.
Everybody's coming in.
Risk.
Smith, he's staying out. Fake Man or Ice Cream stays out. The Red Bull, the Aston Martin Sarpy stays out. Oh, it's a half and half. Half of the grid in, half of the grid out.
Bobby's on the softs. Is that the right call?
5 laps, easy.
Gonna be... You know what? Yeah. Yes and no. It depends. You know, I think by the end they're going to be very, very worn. I think the final lap is medium lap domination.
The question is it crossover?
I think it is. That track looks bone dry as Bobby is just going to cruise on through. Let's have a look. We'll know by sector 2 whether these soft tyres were the right call, as it's looking a bit slippy. Has he made the right decision boxing onto them softs?
I don't know. You can see my face. I'm just a face full of cringe. Is he going to be able to grip? Sending it through every turn, slipping and sliding, praying. Hail Marys that the car is going to grip and do what you tell it to do.
I think it is just about dry running. We've not got DRS yet, but I think the dry tyre is just about quicker. We'll know here in a second. Will Bobby set purple sector 2? He doesn't. He's not gone purple sector 2 as the gap in front is 6.2 seconds.
DRS
enabled.
It's dry.
Is dry running. It's dry. It is full dry. Them softs are going to be warming up now. The track will still be very greasy, but the dry tyre will have that advantage as Smith continues to stay out. Mano dives into the pits. So does Ice Cream. Ice Cream and Mano both diving into the pits. So does Sappy. Everyone's into the pits except for the top 2.
Oh my god, this is a risk. This is a huge risk that Smith and
AMS Smith's going to go for it.
Are gonna throw
They're going to go for it.
Yeah, they're
Pig
gonna
as well,
try.
sorry. Tig as well has not pit.
Oh my god, this is bold, this is brave, this is the strategy that will propel VCAB to Constructors' Championship. Tig needs the points. He's had a stinker race, nowhere near the front pack, nowhere near the fight. This is the strategy send. This is the Hail Mary. And Tig needs to get past that Alpine, maximise the points finish to extend that championship lead. He was struggling, the back end's kicking, it's fishtailing, it's slapping left and right, but he does control the car. The VCAB really trying to put the pressure on that Alpine ahead. The Alpine just running it safely, trying not to end up in the barrier. Oh, this is getting disastrous.
I think it's a 19-second gap. Bobby is going to have to claw back here to get himself up into that first position. And so far, he's actually lost time as Julian Prince picks up a 3-second penalty there. But Bobby has not gained any time on the leaders. He's actually fallen behind as there's yellow flags. Who is that? That is a Ferrari. I don't know
Prince
what's
is in
going
the
on
wall.
there.
It's
That's Julian
VSC.
Prince. Oh my god, I think that might be it.
That's it.
I think AMS Smith has done it.
No, he's going to box!
He's going to get a free pit stop. It's a free pit stop. It's a completely free pit stop. The gap is too big. The gap is too big for Bobby to get ahead. They're all going to box except for Tig. Tig is going to be the only driver to stay out. He does have that time penalty, you have to remember. But I genuinely think that Smith and Jonas they've
I don't know.
got a free
I think
pit
Tig's
stop.
done it. I think Tig might do it even with the penalty. The
Yeah,
free
I
pit
think he
stop,
will,
I
but
don't
I
think they're
think-
going to catch.
Yeah, what the RBs are going to be doing here is they're just going to be thinking smart, thinking, you know what, Tig goes ahead, secures the win. Smith is going to get past P2 here nice and comfortably, but Bobby is right on his tail. Bobby and Smith are going to be battling it out for P2 here. Tig is going to take us away at the front under this VSC. I think the gap is big enough. There's only 3 laps. It's not going to be possible for these dry runners to catch him. He may very well be looking at claiming another victory here. Bobby and Smith. It's going to be an all-out scrap for P2 between
There's
Bobby
the
and Smith.
green!
Bobby receives a drive-through. Bobby's got a drive-through pen. Bed under the safety car. That is the race over for the AMS driver there. Oh, that's heartbreaking stuff.
Absolute
He's had
heartbreak,
such a good race.
disaster for Bobby. He could have taken it. He was dominating the entire first stint, dominated the second stint. Safety car changed the strategy. The tyres have been swapped. He picked up a drive-through under VSC. I was just calling it. I said, I think we're going to go green. And there was the call. And Bobby picks up a drive-through. But if he doesn't serve it, what will that place him in penalties? 10 seconds? 20 seconds?
If he doesn't serve that penalty, he will end up out of the points. He will be out of the points if he doesn't serve that penalty. I think even if he does serve that penalty, he's out of the points. I think that is the race completely over for Bobby. The only thing he can hope for now is that other drivers receive penalties. As Pachito does have a 3-second penalty. Do not forget that 3 seconds that Pachito has. You know, that might very well keep Bobby in it. As there's more yellow flags at the back. Who's into the wall there? Was that... I don't know what happened. I think that might have been a bit of a connection glitch on my side, but Bobby has dived into the pits. He's going to be retiring from this race. Glitch 10 is around. Glitch 10 doing donuts on the track, trying to get it back in a straight line. That will be the race over for the Williams, but Tig is your leader. Out in front, 26 laps about to be completed upon this. 2 more laps after this lap here of racing, and provided Tig doesn't make any big mistakes, he has won this race with an absolute masterclass of a strategy.
He just needs to play it safe on those inters. They're going to be screaming, boiling, scorching. You couldn't even touch the surface of those tyres. He will be absolute lava at this point. He's been running them dry for a good 3-4 laps now. Even with the virtual safety car, he stayed out, didn't box under that first safety car, didn't swap to dry tyres. He's been running these inters since. They're going to be absolutely molten.
They are indeed, as Smith is just going to gain time lap after lap, but I think it's going to be a 1-2 here with these RBs. I think Halo is too far behind to make anything happen, but Malcolm Jonas is going to get ahead of Halo. Been so caught up with the strategy that's been played ahead, and yellow flags again for Glitch 10 there, as Fake Mano is going to look to get past Halo. Halo now fallen down to P5. Malcolm Jonas is now on the podium. What is happening?
Oh my God.
This has been one of the most mental races I've ever watched in my life.
The South African could score a double podium here with the way this is running. He wins round 2. It could be P3 in round 3. He's doing very well so far to get his season off to a bang. Malume Jonas, an unlikely contender, is certainly proving to be one.
Yeah, he is indeed. Sorry, I was just... an update on Jeremy. He had the screen freeze and then the game has kicked him out and he's thrown the towel in. He doesn't want to cause any incidents for anyone else on the track, which is very unfortunate. As what is that Williams doing? Has he burnt his tyres up or something? I don't know. We'll ignore that. It's very clearly a race. Unfortunate for the Williams driver there, but Tig might lose. Tig might lose the win here. He's got 2.2 seconds that he's got to keep as a gap if he wants to keep, that first position. But I don't think he's going to be too forced. As Smith is his teammate, this is going to benefit them a lot in the constructors' fight. I think they will take the constructors' lead here today. with this result, as Mayim Jonas is too far behind, but he is, however, looking good for that podium. He's got 3 cars behind him that are going to want to get that lead. They're going to want to take it off him and get that final podium position, which is in play. Mayim Jonas is going to stay ahead. Will he try and contest one position here to get that DRS benefit on the final part of the lap, as Tig now 4 seconds ahead of his teammate Smith, who is going to just be driving his socks off right now. He's going to have absolutely no grip. He's practically driving on ice skates in the dry conditions here, which is not what you want to be doing. I think Smith is going to do it. I think Smith is going to get that win. So we'll move on down to P3. The fight for P3 that we're going to have here is Fake Mano still sitting behind. Halo wanted to get his car past, has a look down the inside, doesn't get the move done, doesn't go for it. He's racy right now, is Halo. He wants that McLaren on the podium, you know. He wants to get there. You know, last week out didn't quite have the best of luck in Monza, but it is all to play for here at the Shanghai Grand Prix, as he's going to take a nice line, doesn't get the best exit, takes the curb a bit of grass on the tyre, loses some time there as Mano is finding himself nicely. Mayim Jonas is going to be saving as much battery as he can. It is going to be down as he gives the position back just before. What's happened there? I think Mayim Jonas might have just snagged DRS. I don't know if he gave it close enough. I don't think he has.
I think he did.
We'll see. He did. He got it. He got it. Mayim Jonas has played that perfectly. What a move by the South African driver. He's going to move up into the podium as here comes Red Devil for P4. Red Devil down the inside for Mayim Jonas. All he's got to do is, oh my God, Halo out of nowhere. Sorry. Mayim Jonas with an absolute masterclass there. AMS Smith takes the victory from Tig to Mayim Jonas, who will claim his second podium of the season with an absolutely brilliant strategy. Red Devil managing to push that Aston Martin past the McLaren, and Halo settling himself into P5. Fake Mano getting P6, Pachito getting P7, Ice Cream and Sappy settling into P8 and P9. Jeremy in P10 in AI picks up a point with a very unlucky race for him, you know, with a disconnect and a screen freeze. And Glitch 10 is still doing donuts in Sector 2. I just retire. Just retire. What are you doing? We want to get back. We've all had a long... Plenty of people who don't want to be here anymore. I think Glitch 10 is about to be lapped by the AI of Smith.
Well, Mayim Jonas, I've got one thing to say to you. Absolute perfection. Sacrificing that inside line, knowing that your rival behind, Red Devil, Fake Mano even, will take the line, giving you that DRS detection point and allowing yourself that last lap overtake. We saw on lap 27 that Fake Mano chose to sit behind, chose to wait it out, and did not overtake. He was going to use the DRS in the final lap, but that just little swing to the outside, tap of the brakes, let the car dive through, and he's ahead at you by the DRS zone. Beautiful driving, beautiful strategy, and getting yourself your second podium in a row. Fantastic stuff. And that will do us here and now for round 3. I am going to skip out on the interviews. We've been running for a very long time after our delay in the wet weather with the safety cars. I'm a little bit drained, a little bit tired, but I will not miss out on the interviews next week. I promise you that, boys. You will get your chance in the booth to give us a little quick rundown of what has happened in your Grand Prix. But for now, from me and Sam, I think that is all.
It is indeed, and what a race we've gone on for such a long time, but the V-Carbs have done it. They've taken the championship lead. 1-2 on the podium out of nowhere. You know, what a race. And obviously, Mayim Jonas representing South Africa, getting that podium. Very, very, very clever move from him there on the final lap. But yeah, that's all from me anyway. And I hope to see you all here next week for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
Yes, I cannot wait. My favourite race of the season to come, round 4, Saudi Arabia. Do not miss it, same place, same time. If you want to be involved in the racing action, get yourself in the Discord, get yourself signed up. Tier 1, Tier 2, running alongside each other. Tier 2 gets streamed on the Twitch, so if you are a spectator, you can watch both races at the same time. Monday at 9 PM EST, you shall see the American tier. So make sure you get yourself over there and join us for that. So if you are from America, we have a tier just for you. But for now, that is all, and we shall see you next week.